Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Top Coin. If you love coins, treasure hunting, history, or simply enjoy learning about valuable collectibles that could be hiding in your pocket, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about pennies in American numismatic history, the 1972 Lincoln 1-cent coin. At first glance, it might look like just another old penny, but don't be fooled. This little copper coin could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. In fact, certain versions of this coin have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at auction. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was minted for just 1 cent back in 1972 could potentially be worth more than a brand new iPhone or even a round-trip international vacation today. So, what makes the 1972 penny so special? Why are collectors and investors constantly on the lookout for this particular year? Is there a secret to identifying the valuable ones from the ordinary? And more importantly, how much could your 1972 penny be worth today? Grab a snack, sit back, and stay with us to the end, because this video is packed with information, tips, and some truly mind-blowing facts that every coin lover, beginner or expert, needs to know. Let's get started. To truly appreciate the value of the 1972 1-cent coin, we need to take a quick journey back in time. The year was 1972. The United States was going through a significant period of change. It was a time of post-Vietnam tension, space exploration, and cultural shifts. But in the world of coins, something subtle but fascinating was happening at the US Mint. The penny in 1972 still featured the iconic Lincoln Memorial reverse design, which had been introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, or the front of the coin, continued to show the bust of President Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that was first introduced in 1909. Now, here's the twist. In 1972, the Philadelphia Mint accidentally created several double-die obverse (DDO) coins, that is, coins where the design elements on the front were struck twice due to a misalignment during the minting process. These doubling errors are not only fascinating from a technical perspective but are extremely sought after by collectors today. The most famous and valuable 1972 pennies are those with clear and strong doubling on the obverse. You can see this doubling particularly well in the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1972. The doubling is so pronounced that even without magnification, it's easy to spot. This variety is officially known as the 1972 double die obverse, Type 1, and it's the one collectors are most interested in. Only a small number of these coins were accidentally released before the mint caught the mistake. That rarity, combined with the very visible error, makes it incredibly desirable. The key is spotting the right kind of doubling. There are several types of minor die doubling from 1972, but only one variety is the superstar, the bold, clear, dramatic one. If you happen to have one, you're holding a true treasure. Let's talk value, and trust me, this is the exciting part. A regular 1972 penny in average circulated condition is worth, well, about 1 cent. But a 1972 double die obverse Type 1 penny in mint state condition, especially graded MS63, MS65 or higher by reputable grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can fetch anywhere from $300 to over $3,000, depending on the quality, luster, and level of preservation. But it doesn't stop there. A top-grade example, an MS67 red specimen, sold at auction for more than $14,000. That's right. One little copper coin, only worth a cent at face value, sold for over $14,000. Even coins with a little wear but clear doubling can still bring in hundreds. So before you toss that old penny into a change jar or vending machine, make sure you check it under good lighting, or better yet, under a magnifier. In 1972, pennies were minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Denver and San Francisco have a small dwarf mint mark under the date, while those from Philadelphia have no mint mark. While the double die obverse is found only on Philadelphia pennies, the ones with no mint mark, it's still worth checking your 1972 D and 1972 less coins. Some may have other minor errors, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or even repunched mint marks, which can still have collector value, especially in high grades. So how do you know if you found a valuable 1972 penny? Here's what to look for. Check for no mint mark. Only the Philadelphia minted coins had the major double die. Inspect the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Look for strong doubling, especially in the letters. Look closely at the date 1972. You should see a clear shadow-like doubling on all the digits. Examine with a loupe or magnifier. Even better, use a microscope if you have one. Color matters. Pennies that are still bright red and shiny are generally worth more. These are labeled red in coin grading. Consider getting it graded. If you think you've got something valuable, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin is always worth more on the open market. The market for rare coins, especially iconic eras like the 1972 double die penny, is hotter than ever. With more people getting into coin collecting, and investors viewing rare coins as alternative assets, prices continue to rise for key varieties. Online marketplaces like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections frequently list high-grade examples that draw serious bidding wars. Some coins have doubled in value over the last decade. Even lower-grade examples are selling faster than ever, especially when the error is clearly visible. So if you have an old coin collection or a jar of pennies saved up, now's the perfect time to go treasure hunting. So there you have it, the humble 1972 1-cent coin, a potential goldmine hiding in plain sight. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious numismatist, this penny is one to watch for. A simple mistake at the mint more than 50 years ago has turned into one of the most exciting and valuable US coin varieties ever produced. Before you go, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos on rare coins, currency secrets, and hidden collectibles. Have you ever found a 1972 double die penny? Let us know in the comments below. Or tell us about your most valuable coin find. We'd love to hear your story. Today, we're diving into the mystery, the value, and the true history of the 1975 1-cent coin from the United States of America, also known as the humble 1975 Lincoln penny. But wait, did you know this tiny coin might be worth a lot more than just 1 cent? Stick around, because this one's going to surprise you. Let's rewind the clock to the mid-1970s. The Vietnam War was winding down. The economy was in turmoil. Inflation was climbing. The American people were watching the Watergate scandal unfold, and trust in government was at an all-time low. But in your pocket, jingling in your jeans, was a simple, copper-colored coin bearing the face of one of America's greatest presidents, Abraham Lincoln. The Lincoln penny had been in circulation since 1909, first introduced to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin quickly became a fixture in American life. But by 1975, something was changing, and that change would soon affect every coin collector in the country. The 1975 Lincoln cent may look ordinary at first glance. It features Lincoln's iconic bust on the obverse side, facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust" above his head, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1975 on the right, just below his chin. The reverse side carries the image of the Lincoln Memorial, framed by the words "United States of America" and the famous motto "E pluribus unum," which means "out of many, one." So, what makes this coin special? Why are some of these pennies turning heads among collectors, coin dealers, and auction houses? Let's talk numbers. In 1975, the US Mint produced over 5.4 billion Lincoln pennies. That's right, more than 5 billion coins were struck. So, you're probably asking, how could a coin that was minted in the billions ever be rare or valuable? Well, here's where it gets interesting. There were two main mint locations for the 1975 Lincoln cents, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia minted coins do not have a mint mark, while Denver coins carry the small d mint mark just below the date. The vast majority of 1975 pennies were struck in copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc, to be precise. But these coins weren't struck equally. Some coins were struck off-center. Some were double die errors. Others had unique planchet mistakes, misalignments, or die cracks, and those are the coins collectors drool over. Another important detail, this was the last full year before the bicentennial coinage of 1976. That makes 1975 coins especially nostalgic, as they capture a transitional moment in American history and US coinage. Now let's talk money, real money. And most 1975 pennies in circulated condition are worth, well, 1 cent. But rare versions? They can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the condition and the type of error. Let's look at a few examples. A 1975 penny with a dramatic off-center strike, meaning the image is not properly aligned, can fetch anywhere from $50 to $150 or more, depending on how off-center it is and whether the date is still visible. A double die obverse, where Lincoln's face, the date, or inscriptions appear doubled, can command prices upwards of $300 to $600, and in extremely high grades, even more. Some collectors have reported 1975 pennies struck on the wrong planchette, like dimes or foreign coins, which can skyrocket into the four-figure range, sometimes over $2,000 at auction. There are even rumors of proof errors and no mint mark anomalies, which, although unconfirmed in large numbers, are heavily hunted by collectors today. So what's your 1975 penny worth today in 2025? Well, the value depends heavily on grade and condition. If your coin is heavily worn, scratched, or corroded, it's likely only worth face value. But if you've got a coin in mint state, especially those graded MS65 or higher by services like PCGS or NGC, you could be holding something that sells for $25, $50, or even $150. A 1975 D penny in MS67 red sold for nearly $3,000 at auction not long ago. That's right, a single penny, worth $3,000. Why? Because it was pristine, brilliantly red, and nearly perfect. Collectors will pay a premium for perfection. If you've got a 1975 penny with a unique error, or even better, a certified error, the sky's the limit. Wondering if your 1975 penny is valuable? Here's what you need to do. Look at the date and mint mark. Does it have a D? Is it struck clearly? Check for errors. Look closely for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual markings. Examine the condition. Is the coin shiny, red, and free of wear? The less damage, the better. Use a magnifier. A jeweller's loupe or coin magnifier can help spot details invisible to the naked eye. Get it graded. If you believe your coin is special, consider sending it to a grading service. PCGS and NGC are the most respected in the business. Consult online auctions. Check platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or Great Collections to compare prices and demand. It's incredible to think that a single coin, something most people ignore on the ground or leave in their cup holder, could be worth a small fortune. But the 1975 Lincoln penny proves that history, rarity, and condition can turn pocket change into real change. Whether you're a beginner collector, a coin enthusiast, or just someone curious about that strange penny you found in your drawer, now you know. It's worth taking a second look. So the next time you see a penny from 1975, don't just toss it aside. It might be copper. It might be worn. But it might also be hiding a story worth telling, and maybe even a value worth bragging about. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1975 1-cent coin, smash that like button, subscribe for more treasure hunting content, and drop a comment below if you have a 1975 penny in your collection, or better yet, if you found a rare error we should know about. Until next time, keep your eyes on your coins, because you never know what a penny could be worth. Today, we are diving deep, really deep, into the fascinating world of the 1978 1-cent coin from the United States of America. That's right, we're talking about the good old Lincoln penny, minted in a year that might seem ordinary, but trust me, if you have the right one, it could be worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. So grab your coin jars, magnifying glasses, and maybe even your piggy banks, because we're about to uncover everything you need to know about the 1978 penny. Its hidden history, what makes it valuable, the rare varieties that could fetch you hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and how the market is reacting to these little copper treasures today. You don't want to miss a second of this. Let's get into it. Let's travel back in time. The year is 1978. Jimmy Carter is president. Greece is lighting up the movie theaters. The Space Invaders arcade game is taking over the youth. And deep within the United States Mint, millions upon millions of small copper coins are being struck, coins that most people wouldn't give a second glance. But those of us in the know? We know that even a simple Lincoln penny can carry secrets. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, designed to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse side, or the head's side, features that iconic portrait of President Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. It's a design that has stood the test of time and continues to grace the penny to this day, but by 1978, the composition of the penny was already stirring debates. Made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, these coins were becoming more expensive to produce due to rising copper prices. So yes, before the penny ever became the zinc-heavy coin we use today, the 1978 penny was part of that older generation. Heavier, richer in copper, and for some collectors, far more valuable. Now let's talk numbers. The United States Mint struck a staggering number of pennies in 1978. Over 5.5 billion were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and an additional 4.3 billion were struck at the Denver Mint. That's right, nearly 10 billion pennies in total. It's no surprise then that these coins aren't considered rare. At least, not on the surface, but here's where it gets interesting. Not all 1978 pennies are created equal. There are slight variations, mint errors, die changes, and condition grades that make all the difference. While the common 1978 penny you find in your pocket change may only be worth face value, some rare ones have sold for hundreds and even over $1,000 in auctions. Let's dig into what makes those coins special. This is where you need to pay attention. Because if you're checking your 1978 pennies, these are the signs that could indicate you've struck copper gold. First up, let's talk about double die errors. These happen when the coin die is misaligned or imprinted more than once during production, causing the text or design to appear doubled. Look closely at the words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date 1978. If you notice any strange doubling on the letters or numbers, you could be holding a double die obverse penny, one of the rarest varieties that collectors go wild for. Next, keep an eye out for off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank isn't properly seated in the press, causing the design to be off to one side. The more dramatic the error, say, a 50% off-center strike where part of the design is missing, the more valuable the coin becomes. Some of these have sold for $200 to $500 or more, depending on the severity and condition. Another one to watch for is the broad strike error, where the coin lacks the normal raised rim. These mistakes are rarer than you think, and depending on the condition and appearance, they can fetch upwards of $100 or more from eager collectors. But perhaps the most exciting find, that would be a high-grade, mint state 1978 penny, especially those graded MS66 or higher. While common circulated pennies may be worth 1 cent or maybe a couple of cents in copper value, those high-grade coins, especially with the red luster intact, have been known to sell for $1,000 or more at auction. The record for a 1978 Lincoln cent in MS67 red is over $3,000. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly is a coin's value determined? Well, collectors use a scale called the Sheldon scale, which ranges from 1 to 70. A coin graded MS60 or higher is considered uncirculated and is significantly more valuable than one that has wear from circulation. MS65 or MS66. You're looking at a sharply struck coin with nearly flawless surfaces. MS67 or MS68. That's museum quality, and collectors pay top dollar, but it's not just grade. Luster, strike, color, and rarity all play a role. Especially color, pennies are graded as red, road, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, depending on their original copper shine. A red penny from 1978 in MS67? That's the dream. Let's talk money. What is the actual market saying about the 1978 penny right now? A circulated 1978 penny is worth about 1 to 3 cents, primarily for its copper content. A mint state example graded MS65 red can sell for $15 to $40, depending on demand. MS66 red examples can go for $75 to $150. Especially if certified by PCGS or NGC. The MS67 red 1978 penny can bring in $600 to $1,500, with record prices pushing toward $3,500 in pristine condition. And here's the kicker, with copper prices rising and interest in classic coins growing stronger, many collectors are turning their attention to pre-1982 pennies as a way to invest in tangible, historical value. The 1978 penny is right in that sweet spot. If you're serious about finding valuable 1978 pennies, here's what you'll need: a good magnifying glass or jeweller's loupe, preferably 10x magnification, proper lighting to see fine details and detect doubling or errors. A digital scale to check the coin's weight. A genuine 1978 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. A soft cloth or gloves to handle coins without damaging them, and ideally, a coin grading reference book or access to grading services like PCGS or NGC. If you think you found a GEM.SO, there you have it, coin lovers, the complete guide to the 1978 1-cent coin from the United States of America. At first glance, it's just a penny. But look closer, and you might just uncover a piece of history worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Whether it's a mint error, a high-grade beauty, or a rare variety, these coins are far more than pocket change. And remember, coin collecting isn't just about profit. It's about passion, patience, and preserving a piece of the past. The next time you find an old penny in your drawer or couch cushion, give it a second look. It might just change your life. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, smash that like button, share it with your fellow collectors, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth coin guides, market updates, and amazing finds from the world of numismatics. Have you ever found a valuable penny? Got a 1978 you think might be rare? Drop a comment below and tell us your story. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always look closely, because treasure hides in plain sight. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of United States coinage, and this episode is all about one of the most overlooked yet potentially incredibly valuable coins in your pocket, your coin jar, or maybe even sitting quietly in a showbox under your bed. I'm talking about the humble but historical 1992 Lincoln 1-cent coin, better known to most of us simply as the penny. But hold on, this isn't just any penny. This particular year, 1992, hides a secret that has turned an ordinary-looking coin into a collectible masterpiece worth thousands of dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A coin originally minted for just 1 cent could now be worth enough to buy you a brand new laptop, pay your rent, or even take you on a luxury vacation. So, how did this coppery little coin become such a hot topic in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins? What makes the 1992 penny so special? How can you tell if you have one of these rare gems? And just how much money are collectors paying today? Stick with us, because we're about to take you through the history, the minting mysteries, the varieties, the market value, and the jaw-dropping prices these coins are fetching right now. Let's get into it. Let's rewind the clock and go back to the roots of the Lincoln cent. Introduced in 1909, the Lincoln penny was a tribute to President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. For over a century, this coin has been part of daily American life, tucked into wallets, dropped into vending machines, and flipped for luck. By the time we reached the 1990s, the design had seen some subtle changes, but Lincoln's bust remained at the center. However, one key detail that often flies under the radar is the lettering and spacing, especially on the back, where the words United States of America, 1 cent, and E pluribus unum appear above the Lincoln Memorial. And here is where our story begins to get interesting. In 1992, something unusual happened during the minting process. Most pennies that year featured what's called the wide AM reverse. This means that the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse side are clearly spaced apart. Nothing strange there, but then, a few coins, and I mean just a handful, were accidentally minted using a different die, one intended for coins of later years, specifically the reverse die used starting in 1993. This die had a close AM design, where the A and M in America are almost touching. This difference is tiny, almost invisible to the untrained eye. But to coin experts and collectors, it's like discovering buried treasure. These error coins are now known as the 1992 close AM pennies, and they're among the rarest Lincoln cents ever discovered. In fact, as of today, only a few dozen authentic 1992 close AM coins have ever been found and authenticated. Some reports say that fewer than 20 in mint state condition are known to exist. That's rarer than many gold coins. We're talking about a 1 cent piece that's rarer than diamonds in the rough. Now here's the exciting part. How can you tell if you've got a rare 1992 penny worth thousands of dollars? First, check the date. You're looking specifically for a coin minted in 1992, not 1992D, though there's a rare version of that too. You want to start with the Philadelphia minted 1992 close AM. Flip the coin over and look at the word America. Focus on the letters A and M. If there's a noticeable gap between them, sorry, that's a standard wide AM coin, but if the A and M are so close they're nearly touching, you might be looking at one of the rarest pennies in circulation. It's always best to use a magnifying glass or coin loupe. Even better, get it checked out by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC to confirm authenticity, and if you find one, buckle up, because your coin might just be worth a small fortune. Now let's talk money. How much are collectors willing to pay for a 1992 close AM penny? Here are some real, documented sales. A 1992 close AM penny graded MS67 red, that's an incredibly high grade with full original mint color, sold for over $25,000 at auction. Even lower grade examples have fetched between $5,000 and $15,000, depending on condition and whether they were certified by a professional grading company. And what about the 1992, a D close AM penny? It's even rarer than the Philadelphia version. One example of this Denver minted close AM sold for an astounding $2,700. These are life-changing amounts of money for a coin that might still be sitting unnoticed in a penny jar somewhere in the world. So why is this coin such a big deal? Because it's a perfect example of how small errors in minting history can become big treasures. It's also a reminder that attention to detail pays off, sometimes literally. The 1992 close AM penny is a window into the fascinating world of error coins, a niche within numismatics that rewards the sharp-eyed and the patient. Collectors are passionate about these anomalies because they're unpredictable, exciting, and rare. And for the average person, it's a thrilling opportunity to turn pocket change into profit. Here's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, go check your change jar. Dig through your drawers, your car cup holder, your old piggy banks. Look closely at every 1992 penny you can find. Use a magnifier, compare the spacing in America, and don't forget to check both 1992 and 1992 D. If you find a potential close AM, don't rush to sell it online. Get it professionally graded. It could mean the difference between a few $100 and tens of thousands of dollars. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you love stories like this, rare coins, hidden treasures, and the amazing world of numismatics. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends and family, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're now inspired to go searching. Who knows, the next life-changing coin could be sitting in your hand right now. Thanks for watching, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Until next time, keep searching, keep dreaming, and never underestimate the value of a single cent. If you've ever thought that a penny is just a penny, think again. Because today we're diving deep into the story behind the 2005 1-cent coin from the United States of America, and you might be shocked to learn that some of these ordinary-looking coins could actually be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. That's right, that little copper-colored coin sitting in your change jar might just be a hidden gem. It could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition, mint mark, and, most exciting of all, potential rare errors. So make sure to watch all the way to the end, because we're not just talking about the history, we're uncovering the true collector's value, what makes some 2005 pennies insanely rare, and how you can tell if you're holding on to one of them. Let's get into it. The 2005 1-cent coin is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. That's over a century of history tied to one of the most recognizable figures in American history, President Abraham Lincoln. On the front, or the obverse side, you'll see the classic right-facing profile of Lincoln, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. This design has been unchanged for decades, serving as a tribute to the 16th President of the United States. Flip the coin over and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side, which had been featured on the penny from 1959 all the way through to 2008. It's a symbol of national pride and strength, but starting in 2009, this design was replaced with a new series commemorating Lincoln's life. So yes, the 2005 penny is part of the final era of the Lincoln Memorial reverse, making it even more interesting to collectors. Now let's talk about mint marks. The 2005 Lincoln cent was struck at multiple mints across the country. Most commonly you'll find them from either Philadelphia Mint, which has no mint mark, the Denver Mint, which has a small D under the year, and occasionally San Francisco, but those are usually proof coins and not found in regular circulation. Okay, here's where things get exciting. While most 2005 pennies are only worth their face value, 1 cent, some specific coins from this year have unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable. Let's break down what collectors are looking for. First up, mint errors. These are mistakes made during the minting process that result in unusual or rare coin features. And in 2005, several types of errors have been found, including the double die obverse, DDO. This happens when the coin is struck with a misaligned die, causing parts of the design, like the date or Lincoln's features, to appear doubled. Die cracks. These are raised lines on the surface of the coin caused by fractures in the die. Off-center strikes, coins that were not perfectly aligned during minting, resulting in an uneven or partial design. Cud errors. A cud is a lump of metal on the coin's surface caused by a piece of the die breaking off. Believe it or not, some collectors will pay serious money for these types of errors, especially if they're dramatic and visible without magnification. The more unusual, the higher the price. Then there's the condition of the coin. In the world of numismatics, that's coin collecting for those new to the hobby, condition is everything. Coins are graded from poor, P1, all the way to mint state, MS70. A 2005 penny in MS65 or higher condition with strong luster, no scratches, and sharp details can be worth way more than face value, even without any mint error. Now let's get specific with real market values. So how much is a 2005 1-cent coin worth today? Let's start with regular circulation coins. A typical 2005 penny from either the Philadelphia or Denver mint in circulated condition is generally worth just 1 cent, but if it's uncirculated or in mint state, it can be worth between 10 cents to $2, depending on the grade. A proof coin from San Francisco in pristine condition can be worth between $3 and $15 depending on demand and condition. Now for the big money coins, the error coins. A 2005 penny with a strong double die obverse can sell for anywhere between $50 to $200 or more, depending on visibility. An off-center strike, especially if it's 50% off and still shows the date, can be worth $100 to $300. A dramatic cud error could fetch $150 to even $500 if it's clean and well documented. And get this, some high-grade error coins certified by major grading services like PCGS or NGC have sold at auction for over $1,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $1,000 for a penny. So now might be a good time to check your coin jars. Folks, if you're wondering how to tell whether you've got a valuable 2005 penny, here's a quick step-by-step. Examine the date and mint mark. Look closely under magnification. A strong double image around the date or mint mark could indicate a double die error. Check the coin's alignment. Does the image look off-center? Is part of the design missing? If yes, you might have a rare strike. Look for raised bumps or cracks. These could be die cracks or cud errors, both of which can raise the value significantly. Assess the condition. The shinier and more flawless the coin, the more likely it will attract collectors. Consider certification. If you think you have a rare coin, it may be worth getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. This can significantly increase its resale value and market trust. Got a valuable 2005 penny? Or maybe you're looking to collect one. Here's where you can look. eBay and Etsy, great places to buy and sell, but be careful of inflated prices or unverified listings. Coin shows and conventions, these events are full of serious collectors and often have expert graders on site. Online auctions like heritage auctions or great collections, ideal for high-value certified coins. Local coin shops, a trusted way to get an appraisal and maybe even a buyer. And always remember, the more documentation and grading you have, the more buyers will trust your listing and pay top dollar. So there you have it. The humble 2005 1-cent coin might not seem like much at first glance, but in the world of coin collecting, it has the potential to be a real treasure. Whether you're hunting for errors, stacking mint state examples, or just checking your change out of curiosity, you never know what kind of hidden value might be hiding in plain sight. Have you ever found a rare or unusual penny? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a future video on coins, currency, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.